This game, I did not play it when it came out because I was waiting on Capcom to put out the gold version, because on all their other releases, and I'm remembering back to like Resident Evil 7 specifically, you know, they released all this DLC and expansions and extra modes and all this that you had to buy, but then they released a gold version where all that is like on disc and included. So I waited around for Capcom to release this as a gold version because I wanted it all on disc, and the idiots just put the standard game in the disc in here and then a bunch of download codes. So Resident Evil Village Gold Edition on the PS5 is just like if you went and bought the original release version of Resident Evil Village and then just purchased the DLC. This is no different. It has a different cover and that's all you get. I'm really annoyed, but I'm less annoyed as I thought I would be, and I'll get to that in a minute. All right, guys, I really love Resident Evil. I did not play it from the first Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1 till like I was an adult with kids, but I've gotten back into it and I'm going through and I'm playing through all the games again. I'm really enjoying it, and I was looking forward to this one. This is like the direct sequel to Resident Evil 7. You play as, I guess his name's Ethan Winters or whatever again. He was kind of like a silent protagonist, but they've tried to give him more of a personality in this one, I guess. And your daughter, Rose, has been like kidnapped and taken to this like spooky European village where everybody has like a Californian accent. And you have to like investigate the spooky village and like its surrounding areas to find her. Unlike most of the other Resident Evil games, this one has followed suit with Resident Evil 7, and it's in like a first-person view, which is fine. I like that. I prefer like the third-person or over-the-shoulder look, but this is good too. It changes things up, and it is very atmospheric. And it has like most of the stuff that make Resident Evil great. You know, it's got the tense gameplay. It has exploring these incredible environments, which is my favorite part of any Resident Evil game. And to go along with that, solving the puzzles. And they brought back like the shopkeeper. It's not the same shopkeeper from Resident Evil 4, but a good analog of him. And you can upgrade your weapons and unlock new weapons and stuff. This game does have inventory management, which I have grown to really like in Resident Evil games. But I feel like in this one, they kind of give you maybe too much inventory space too soon, because the inventory management was not really an issue till the latter half of the game, where I had like a machine gun and a grenade launcher and a shotgun and like a sniper rifle and this and that and this, where I was carrying like 7 weapons with me. I felt like they gave you a little bit too much space. The overall premise of this is you're like fighting through the village, and there are 4, I don't remember what they call them, but like 4 areas surrounding the village, and you have to go to each one, venture into each one, and defeat like a boss there to get the parts to unlock like the final area of the game. And the village kind of serves as a hub. It's really fun exploring around, and these areas are all very different, and they play very differently, which is cool. I think the game just looks gorgeous, and the environments are incredible. And I play all my stuff randomly. You guys know that. It's my whole thing. So I haven't played a ton of like current gen. When I say current gen, I mean like PS5 and modern PC games, because everything's picked randomly. But this is like the best looking game I've ever seen in my life up to this point. I mean, I haven't played a ton of PlayStation 5 stuff, but man, this looks incredible to me. I saw people like dogging on the graphics. I don't know what they're talking about. I think it looks amazing. The world design's great. The set design's great. I feel like Capcom really poured their heart into designing, the environments in this, and they look great. And the music, I mean, it's like Resident Evil music, so it's more atmospheric, although it does get pretty tense at times. It's not really memorable, but the sound design in this game is incredible. And I have surround sound down here, and man, you can like, something sneaks up behind you, you really feel it. So, some things I really enjoy about this. It's been a while since I played Resident Evil 7, and I remember that game, playing it, and certain events that happened in it more than I really remembered the overall story. So this game gives like a refresher, Resident Evil 8, that is, gives a refresher at the beginning of it, going over the events of Resident Evil 7, which I really appreciated. I really appreciated. I thought that was amazing. I wish every game did that. And I have to say this. The first area of this game, the first one past the village, is Castle Dimitrescu. And it's one of the best sections of any video game I've ever played. It rivals like Resident Evil 1 for atmosphere and Resident Evil 2. It was incredible and I loved it. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. It is like, that section of the game is like straight up survival horror that you would expect from a Resident Evil game. The next section is almost like an escape room, which I thought was really, really cool. The area after that gets like a little bit more, I would say, action-y, and then it just gets progressively more action-y as you work your way through the game. So while the beginning of the game and the village and the first couple areas are just like unbelievably good, the game kind of like trails off towards the latter half. And I have to say it, like just straight up, you know, the game starts off great, it gets progressively worse. If it had maintained the quality and the feel of the first half of the game, it would probably be the best Resident Evil game of all time, in my opinion. I thought it was incredible, but it did, like I said, it did kind of trail off. So Resident Evil Village, how good was it? Although it did trail off at the end, I would say this game's like a 9 out of 10. It is amazing. If it had maintained like its quality from the beginning all the way through, it would be a 10 out of 10, hands down. So the first half of this game is a 10 out of 10, and then it kind of drops to like an 8-ish out of 10 at points. So 9 out of 10. This is like a must play, I think, for any action fan or survival horror fan.